Our exposure to air pollution during our lifetime is dominated by the air that we breathe indoors. You know, the average American lives to be 79 years of age. And of those 79 years, we spend 70 of those years domiciled inside of buildings. There are many of us that have been working for decades on trying to understand indoor air quality, including indoor air chemistry, who haven't had a lot of money to do it. And we haven't had the types of instruments, the types of equipment that those that study outdoor atmospheric chemistry, outdoor air quality have.
There's so many factors that we really haven't thought about. There's so many basic science and chemistry questions that are unanswered. And so we do know like little pieces of a lot of things, but so far nothing has sort of brought all the information together in the way that HOMEChem is trying to do.
HOMEChem is house observations of the microbial and environmental chemistry. We had instruments and researchers from all sorts of different universities come to one place to understand how everyday activities changes the chemistry inside your home. So air chemistry, surface chemistry, particles, all the air that you breathe.
U-Test House at University of Texas, Austin is a very unique experimental setup. It's a real house, 3-bedroom house, 1,200 square feet. There's a very high density of sophisticated instruments inside the house and the area around the house, which enables us to simulate real conditions.
Unlike permanent houses, this house was built pretty much to be modified and adjusted for various experiments. Tubes and pipes are getting out of the house. You can see wires are all around to collect air samples, and then it sits outside, so you have ambient conditions. And you can look how the outdoor air quality affects indoor air quality, and that's when pretty much what we get with this full-scale test house.
So this is the first campaign of its kind, and we needed to decide what kind of experiments to run and what level of complication we wanted to get into. So we decided to focus on cooking and cleaning activities because they are both activities that we all engaged in, and they can produce emissions of compounds that we're all exposed to. And so there's organic acids and different compounds that are associated with cooking. There's terpene-based cleaners that can result in atmospheric particles when they're oxidized. There's also chlorine-containing compounds in chlorine-containing disinfectant solutions that we're looking at.
We are also looking at human occupancy. What we're measuring is basically the human fingerprint, and that includes reaction products, things that are coming off of your skin, things that are naturally coming from your body. For example, our human sweat have lactic acid in it. So we're trying to see what kind of reactions can happen later on after these things are emitted into the indoor environment.
The research teams associated with HOMEChem are measuring a wide spectrum of different pollutants. Historically, in the past, we would collect air samples over many, many hours and then bring the samples to the laboratory, and it would take hours to analyze what was on them. These instruments are so sophisticated, they can measure what's in a room in real time.
There's a group from Indiana University. They're measuring oxidants, those very small radicals that are present in the indoor environment. My group from the University of Colorado is bringing particle sizing measurements. That means that we use a variety of different instruments that can look at all of the particles that are present in the air, and we can tell you how big they are and how many there are of each size.
We have a measurement from my research group that is an aerosol mass spectrometer that's connected to a thermal denuder. So what we do is we pull air in from the house and then we heat it up to about 150 Fahrenheit. And so we watch how the particles change and we see what comes off.
With the chemical ionization mass spectrometer, we get to look at particle and gas phase data at the same time, and we get to find out information that's not really well known about the volatilities of compounds that are in the indoor air and also their partitioning between gas and particle phase.
And it's important for us to sample not only indoors but also outdoors to see what mixes in and what mixes out, and we're also maybe finding that houses can be sources for pollution, so houses may be putting things out into the atmosphere as well.
In just a few days of measurements, we've already noticed such a tremendous amount of collaboration happening between the researchers. People have been really friendly to each other and giving really good advice and coming up with ideas together and helping us better shape the experiment as it's happening.
There's a strong sense that this isn't just one person's project. This is a sense of an entire community that's working together to try and understand indoor chemistry.